So what's the difference between a cheap charger and a genuine charger for your camera batteries? Let's take a look at what's inside. Okay, let's take a look what's inside, okay? Alright, so these cheap chargers, you notice they're smaller generally and much lighter than genuine. I have here, what is this? Pure Stone mini AC DC charger for Canon batteries, and a genuine Canon charger for Canon batteries, obviously. This seems much heftier, this seems really cheap. What's nice about this has removable plates, so basically you'll see millions of these on there, million different brand names. And what's nice is you can just change these plates and charge different batteries with the same charger. So you have a core, and then you just have an adapter plate for different batteries, which is really nice, okay? But it just seems really cheap, like there's really literally nothing in there. So let's take a look. It's nice in both. Okay, so they have these flip out, power outlets. They have these flip out power plugs, which is really cool. Okay, but there's just like, this is so light, doesn't seem like anything's inside. Okay, so let's take a look. I'll try to pry this open somehow. Wow. I guess I can just use my fingernails. Maybe not. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Seems to be like there's just some clips holding it together. Okay, let's continue going. Ooh, is there a screw here? Maybe there's a screw here. Oh, no screw. Something in the middle seems to be holding it. Don't see a screw here, okay. Okay, so maybe just this. Well, there were some two screws here. Okay, I guess I missed the screws. There were two screws here and here. Okay. So anyway, this is the charging circuit, which seems actually quite big. Let's take that apart here. We're gonna need a small screwdriver. Okay. All right, doing this. Yay. So this actually, I am really actually surprised that we get this many components in here. Notice these are the capacitors. Then we have a bunch of resistors. This is the transformer and transistors here. So there's actually quite a bit of logic in here, which I must say that this is actually not so bad. This is actually a lot better than expected, okay? Now, let's take a look at what's inside the Canon charger, okay? So notice we have some safety screws here, which we cannot take apart. But let's give it a try, okay? really don't see any more screws. But, you know, I don't want to just assume, just like on this one, then there's really no other screws. But whoa, okay. So this is what holds the power plug. Okay, this is pretty cool. Now notice the size difference here. Wow. So there aren't necessarily more components, but the components seem much bigger and beefier. I mean, there just seems to be wow. There just seems to be that, you know, they use bigger components. That's about it. Yeah, so it probably charges the battery faster. Yeah, notice this transistor here. How big of a heatsink it has versus this one here. Okay, let's take, we'll zoom into these, okay, to take a closer look. So this one here is a genuine Canon charger, okay? Now notice the size difference here, like between the components. I mean, everything is noticeably bigger and beefier. This here is the transformer. So it probably offers more current. Look at these capacitors. The size difference here. This here is a transistor, and this one here too. This one doesn't even have a heatsink. Yeah. Needless to say though, I remember using this charger, and actually it did charge the batteries, so it was usable. I was honestly expecting more of a difference, where this circuit here would be just like 4 or 5 components on a really tiny board, and this here that, you know, would be just like it is. So I'm pleasantly surprised that you get this much technology in just, you know, in a package that costs just a few dollars. I haven't tested the performance of this versus this, but I know this will actually charge batteries, and, you know, they're usable. It's not like it messes up the batteries and it doesn't charge them. It's just that genuine components are much beefier. This is probably meant to be used hundreds or thousands of times with some good quality control. Here, you know, the mileage may vary, but it actually doesn't look bad at all. Also, what we see are some microcontrollers. There's nothing on the back side of this one. And we have some microcontrollers here. Okay. Alright, well, that's it. You know, this was just a quick overview of what the differences are between a cheap charger like this one and a genuine Canon charger. Alright, well, thanks for watching. So I actually put this back together, and this looks like it's gonna continue working. This one looks like I damaged beyond recognition. Not yet. This one here looks like it's been damaged, obviously, because I pulled it apart. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I'm impressed by this little gizmo.